Central Park, the Royal Promenade, the Boardwalk, the Abyss, water slides, zip line, rock climbing wall, the flow rider, the solarium, and so much more can all be found on an Oasis class ship. And guys, I'm here to give you my review of the Harmony of the Seas, which I went on a 7-day cruise out of Galveston. It was my first Oasis class ship, and let me tell you, there was just so much to see and do, and I didn't even probably scratch the surface. But I'm going to tell you all about it right after this.
Before I continue, I'd like to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. They're the only VPN I trust. Browsing the internet unprotected, you are exposing all your data, including passwords, photos, and banking information, to the possibility of being stolen. A VPN hides your IP address and encrypts your internet connection, securing it from the eyes of your internet service provider, network administrators, and government censors. Using the internet without PIA is like taking a shower without a door. Everyone can hear your terrible singing. Now let me give you 3 reasons to use PIA. Number 1, it's the world's most transparent VPN provider with over 30 million downloads. They never record user data, and it's been proven multiple times in court. Number 2, PIA works with all major streaming services, so you can access more content than ever before. Plus, it's one of the few VPNs that support P2P file sharing. Number 3, PIA is available for all platforms such as Windows, Mac OS, and Android. You can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited number of devices at the same time. And another great reason, PIA is giving my viewers a huge discount. By clicking the link in the description of this video, you can save 83% on a subscription to PIA and get 4 months free. That comes out to about $2.03 a month. So do yourself a favor, subscribe to PIA VPN today and give yourself a peace of mind.
Well, hey guys, like I said in the intro, I went on a 7-day cruise on the Harmony of the Seas out of Galveston, and it was my first time sailing on an Oasis class ship, and it was also my first time sailing out of the new cruise terminal in Galveston. It's not brand new. It's actually been in service for a little over a year now, but it's the first time that I have sailed out of it. Prior to sailing out of there, they used to share a terminal with Carnival Cruise Line, and so that's what I've been used to in the past. So what's different about the new terminal? Well, the new terminal, I would say right off the bat, is more parking friendly, as they actually built parking right around the terminal there. So unlike the other terminal in the past, I would have to park off-site, catch a shuttle to the terminal, and then board the ship that way. This way they have the at this new terminal they have the parking right there. They have a parking garage, so you can book indoor or outdoor for parking your vehicle. And so that to me is a huge upgrade. The terminal itself, like I said, it's only been there for a little over a year, and I mean it looked brand new on the inside. When you approach the terminal, they have the baggage drop-off locations on either side of the doors, and so you can hand your bags off to the porters, and they'll take your luggage onto the ship for you. When you go inside, there's escalators that take you up to where you actually go through security, and you check in and all that, and then you board the ship. They had people directing you, letting you know where to go, and so I found the process to be pretty smooth. Like I said, it was my first time there, so I wasn't real sure where to go once I got up to the top of the escalators. But they did have employees, pointing you to which line you need to go to. Security was pretty quick, typical thing that you would expect, scanning your bags and all that. And with the facial recognition software and everything, getting checked in and getting cleared to board was a really smooth process. I think my boarding time was right around 1:30. So that's when I showed up, and I went pretty much right through. all in all, I'd say from start to finish, it took me maybe 15 to 20 minutes to get through, drop off my bags, get checked or get through security, and then get checked in and get cleared to board. And so no complaints at the terminal. I think everything went pretty smooth. So the next thing we'll talk about is the ship itself. And so when I got on board the ship, being that it was an Oasis class and it was my first time being on an Oasis class, the only thing I had to compare it to, as far as the size goes, was I was on Ovation of the Seas for my Alaska cruise. So comparing it to that Quantum class experience, I have to say I was really impressed. I mean, the size of the ship, it's just massive. I was kind of walking around like a kid in a candy store, just kind of in a daze, checking everything out. When you came on board, you pretty much walked right into the Royal Promenade area. And I have to say, that's got to be the biggest Royal Promenade that I've been on before. And, they had the Bionic Bar right there. They had the English Pub. They had the Rising Tide Bar. All of that stuff, all the shops and everything. Sorrento's Pizza. Everything that you normally see on the Royal Promenade was right there. And it was just a lot bigger. I mean, a lot more space. And so since I got on after 1:30, I was able to go straight to my cabin, pretty much drop off my bag. My cabin was on the 6th deck, so I dropped my bag off, and it was all the way aft. So then I went and checked out the boardwalk area, and let me tell you, that's a pretty unique space. I really enjoyed it. It has the carousel when you first walk out there. You got your Starbucks, the dog house where they serve hot dogs, and then they got Johnny Rockets, Sabor, the Mexican cantina, and of course, you got the Aqua Theater all the way in the back. And that particular day, it was on a Sunday, so they had the football games up on the big screens on the Aqua Theater, and they had the guys pushing the beer carts, and so it was almost kind of like being at a NFL stadium watching the game. It was pretty cool. So I really appreciated that. The other areas of the ship that were of interest, something that was unique to me was Central Park. Like I said, being my first Oasis, I had never experienced that before. And I have to say that was a pretty unique space. You go out there and they have all the trees and the plants, and you got on pretty much like surrounding the area, you've got all the Central Park balconies, and of course, you've got your specialty dining places like Jamie's Italian and Chops Grill, and so it was a pretty unique space. I was impressed with it. The only thing is, I didn't spend a lot of, like, throughout the course of the cruise, I really didn't spend a lot of time there, and I have to say, it wasn't a feature that drew me to it, and I think for me, and I know this might be controversial take on this, but for me, being on a cruise, if I'm outdoors, I'm kind of expecting to see the ocean. I want to feel that ocean breeze. I want to see the waves and everything. And Central Park doesn't really offer you that. And it is a nice space. It's impressive. And I'm not saying it's not. But for me, it wasn't something that was drawing me to it, throughout the cruise. I mean, yeah, I went out there. Like I said, I went a couple times just to go check it out, see what was there. Just kind of check it off the list, if you will. But, throughout the course of the cruise, it's, if I had some time to kill and I was looking for something to do, Central Park didn't really come to my mind, And then the other areas of importance, the pool areas, I thought was pretty impressive. They pretty much had like 4 different pools going on. They had a splash area for the kids. plenty of hot tubs, and so I was really impressed with that. Those areas did get, I think if one area of the ship that you definitely felt the number of passengers was on the pool, around the pools, throughout the course of the cruise. Those were always the real busy areas, and rightly so. I mean, that's where people want to go, especially on sea days, is to get some time on the Lido, catch up on the tan, hit the pools, that kind of thing. Especially if they're bringing kids. But it was very impressive, and definitely something to check out. And then moving on to like the solarium area, which is one of my favorite hangout spots. I really enjoyed it. It was the only thing different between the solarium on the Quantum class and the Oasis class right off the bat that I noticed, they didn't have a pool in the solarium area, so that was kind of different. But all in all, it's still an awesome space. I mean, it still had everything else you would expect: hot tubs, the solarium bistro, the solarium bar, and plenty of loungers. And so, yeah, I thought it was a nice space, but kind of a little bit disappointing that they didn't have the pool. Because I felt like that would have been a nice touch. But instead, they filled it in with plenty of seating areas, loungers, and things like that. So all in all, I have to say the Oasis class, Harmony of the Seas, all the different neighborhoods and areas to check out. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to check out, and on a 7-day cruise, it's really hard to take it all in and appreciate everything. I try to do my best to make it everywhere and see everything, but I have to say it. But the thing about that is, it kind of invites you back to go on another cruise and check it out. Explore a little bit more. But yeah, I was definitely improved with Harmony of the Seas, the venues and everything, and I would definitely sail on it again. All right, so let's talk about the food. I know that's a favorite topic of a lot of people, especially myself. And so on this cruise, I mixed it up. I try to do a little bit of everything. I did the specialty dining, I did the main dining room, did the buffet, and so we'll start out with the main dining room, which admittedly I did not eat any of my dinners in the main dining room. I did eat lunch there twice, and all in all, the service was great. You showed up and they got you seated right away. I was cruising by myself, and so I sat at one of the little two-person tables, and I think in both times I was sitting next to some real friendly folks, and we were able to strike up some conversations, and which helped make it a more enjoyable experience. And where I was seated was right in front of these glass windows, so you could see out, and I appreciated that. The food selections I thought were pretty good. Don't have any complaints there. I think I had the Royal Burger on one occasion, and then on the other one, I think I had the pita. And so it was pretty good. Like I said, the service, the cleanliness, everything, no complaints there. I ate most of my meals in the Windjammer, and I have to say that the Windjammer, experience on Harmony of the Seas was just what you would expect on any other Royal ship. They had plenty of seating area all the way around, plenty of different food options, different stations. I guess, but one thing I would say is comparing it to the Quantum class Windjammer on the Ovation, I think I would have preferred that layout, and because it seemed like on Ovation, the Windjammer was kind of more wide open, and so you didn't have a lot of lines, a lot of congestions. It kind of cut down on all that. On Harmony, I noticed that it was kind of like a horseshoe uh, configuration, and so the stations were kind of set up that way, and there was fewer of them for some reason, and it just seemed like lines were getting backed up. You know, if you didn't get there early and you got there kind of middle of the meal, those lines got pretty long. You had lines kind of going every which way. You didn't quite know where the line ended and began. You know, so it was a little bit confusing. Took a little bit longer to get through that, but that's my only complaint with the Windjammer. I just feel like the layout wasn't as optimal as compared to other Windjammers I've been on. But all in all, the food was great. The service was great, clean. You know, never had to like fight for a seat, and so that's the kind of thing I appreciate. And so, moving on to the specialty dining, I did eat at Izumi Japanese cuisine twice, and on Harmony, there's two sides to it. You got the Izumi hibachi, and you got the Izumi sushi. And so I ate at the sushi side twice. You know, service was really fast. They got me in right away. The food was awesome. I mean, I'm not a huge sushi connoisseur. I don't eat it that often, but every once in a while, and especially when I cruise Royal Caribbean, I've grown quite fond of Izumi for some reason, and it never disappoints. The selection of the different sushi rolls are pretty awesome, and so all in all, and the seating areas that they have plenty of seating right by the windows, in case you're wondering, and I always appreciate that when I can sit and look out the window at the waves and everything as we roll by, and so. Definitely 2 thumbs up for Izumi. It kind of knocked it out of the park on both of those occasions. I also ate at Sabor, and that's kind of the Mexican themed restaurant, and it was out on the boardwalk. And I don't know, it was the food was good, but you know I didn't feel like it was quite as much authentic Mexican style food, and I felt like it was more of like the Americanized style of Mexican food, because you know I ordered the tacos, and it was like the hard shell tacos instead of you know the tortillas, and so you know I didn't really you know kind of took away from some of the enjoyment of that. Like I said, the flavor of the food was good. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It's just the presentation was kind of lacking, not really what I was expecting. But the service was good. The location on the boardwalk was good, and I think that particular night there was some football on, and so they had the football up on the big screen, so that made it more enjoyable experience. Would I eat there again? I probably wouldn't. I'd probably pass on it. I'd probably try some other specialty dining instead. But I kind of picked it because it was on the boardwalk, and I wanted to kind of, experience that a little bit more. So that's that. All right, moving on to entertainment. And during this cruise, I saw 2 different shows, one in the Royal Theater and one in the Aqua Theater. And we'll start with the Royal Theater first. And I saw Grease in the Royal Theater, and I thought it was a really good show. I thought the performers did a good job. I liked the props and the special effects that they were using, the lighting. It was 90 minutes, and I felt like it kind of was a little bit long. There was some dead spots in there. I feel like they kind of could have condensed it a little bit more. But all in all, it was a good performance. And I went kind of at the end of the night. It was at 9:30, and so by the time it was over, it was about 11, and so I thought it was a good way to end the evening after dinner. But yeah, it's exactly what you would expect with if anybody that's familiar with Greece, and I really enjoyed it. The music and the performances by the actors, they did a good job of blending all together. But like I say, there was some kind of seemed like there was some dead spots in between skits and or scenes, if you will, and I feel like they could have tightened it up a little bit more. But that's just a small criticism from me. It didn't ruin the performance or my enjoyment of the show, but and I highly recommend checking it out if you're on there. The other show was the Aqua Theater, and this was the first time I've had a chance to be on a ship with an Aqua Theater, and so I was really excited to go check it out. The name of the show was The Fine Line, and let me tell you, the stunts and things that they're doing in the show were pretty pretty breathtaking. It just something something that you might picture seeing at like a circus or something like that. But I was really impressed with it, and it was nice being outdoors for that show. With the breeze coming in, and you're on the aft end of the ship, and it just I think it kind of added to the performance, or added to the experience and the enjoyment of it. Kind of made you feel like you weren't on a ship, that you were actually at like some stadium somewhere on land. So I really enjoyed it, and you definitely, if you're going to go on an Oasis class ship, you need to check out at least one performance at the Aqua Theater. You'll definitely not regret it. And so let's talk about the ports. And for this cruise, we hit Roatan first, then Costa Maya and Cozumel. For Roatan, I had an excursion to the Fantasy Island Resort, and I, the process of getting off the ship, it went really fast, and I believe for that one, we actually met our tour guide in the theater. So when I booked that excursion through Royal, and so when they sent the ticket, they let you know, hey, be down at the Royal Theater at such and such a time. And so I was, and the person from the cruise ship took us down off the ship, down to the pier, and handed us off to the folks that were actually running the excursion, and it all went pretty smooth. And I am putting out a video for that Roatan excursion, so I won't go too in depth on it here. I'll just say that the transportation to and from went off without a hitch. We weren't late. We even got back in time to check out some of the little shops right there on the pier and buy souvenirs if you wanted to. Costa Maya, I pretty much stayed on the ship for most of that port visit. I've been to Costa Maya a bunch. I've also been to Cozumel a bunch, so I decided to use that as more of a ship day. I did go down and have lunch and come back. It was pretty rainy that day, so I just kind of went down real fast, got something to eat, and came back. But no complaints there. Like I said, it's your typical. If you've been to Costa Maya before, you know that they have that port area set up with a bunch of shops, a bunch of restaurants, bars. They even have like a swim up bar if you want to hang out there. They have loungers if you want to work on your tan. They have they have like a dolphin show right there that you can pay to experience. So I don't know. I always enjoy our port visits to Costa Maya because I feel like you don't really have to have an excursion, and they've got pretty much everything you need right there. And our last port visit was Cozumel, and if you cruise out of Galveston, the amount of times that I have, you're going to hit Cozumel every single time, pretty much. But I do like Cozumel as a cruise port because they have a ton of activities They've got stuff right there on the pier if you don't want to, venture out too far. And I did have an excursion in Cozumel. I rode the twister boat over to Passion Island, and I'm going to do a separate video on that, so I'm not going to go in depth on it. I'll just say that I did book it through Royal, and everything went off without a hitch. I was able to make it to my excursion on time, and they got us back from the excursion in plenty of time to do some last minute shopping or grab some drinks or something before heading up to the ship. And so that's pretty much all I'm going to say on that. Okay, well, that leaves us with the debarkation process. And so with the debarkation process on Royal, just like all the other cruise lines, you can opt to either do a self-assist, meaning you carry your own luggage off the ship, or you can get luggage tags and leave your luggage out the night before, and then they will take it off the ship for you. And on Royal, they basically, what they did was, if you're doing self-assist, and if you are one of the higher tiers, Pinnacle, Diamond Plus, or if you're a suite guest, then all of those folks get to go off the ship first. So, and you can simply sit in your cabin, and they have like a little channel, I believe it was channel 2 on the TV. Just keep your TV tuned to channel 2, and they'll start showing like when you can get off the ship. And so like self-assist and all the higher tiers and the suite guests were all up at the top. And then after that, they just start going down, calling people by luggage tags. And so, I got up early that morning, had breakfast, came back to the room, I was ready to go, and then I just sat and watched the TV. And as soon as I saw it say now boarding or now debarking, I grabbed my bag, headed on down, and I was on deck 6. They were, debarking the ship from deck 5. So only went down one deck, and boom, I was right there in line, and the line moved pretty fast. And I think it was like the fastest I've gotten off the ship on any cruise that I can remember. And since I had my luggage, you just go right through. They have the facial recognition software, take a picture of your face, give you the green light, and you're off. And so, and then right outside, they have all the shuttles. If you're taking a shuttle to different parking areas, it's right there. Or you can just go straight to your car and you're out. And so that would be my tip. If you want to catch the shuttles and you want to be the first, you want to get on that shuttle first, then I highly recommend doing the self-assist, because that was the fastest process of getting off the ship that I have experienced. And because if you do the luggage tags, by the time you get off, you're probably going to be waiting in line for the shuttles. I mean, they're running pretty regularly, but if for some reason you are wanting to get out of there quick, maybe you got a flight later or something, I don't know what the case is, but I highly recommend doing the self-assist. I know not everybody can do that. Maybe you have too much luggage, maybe you got mobility issues or something like that. But if you can, then that's my tip of the video right there. Oh, we almost forgot to cover the cabin. I had a balcony cabin on deck 6 that was all the way aft on the starboard side, and it was on the same deck as the boardwalk. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on the room, because I did do a room tour video on that. But I'll just say that the service, from the cabin steward was awesome. It was always clean. The view was awesome from my balcony, and I like the proximity to the boardwalk. It was something pretty convenient, and I think that's about all I can say about that. Well, all right, guys, that's my review of the Harmony of the Seas. Hope you found it informative. If you got any questions about it, if there's something that I covered, maybe that you want more information about, please leave a question or comment in the comment section of the video, and I will be more than happy to get back to you. But the big question, I know someone had asked me, someone that I know had asked me, because before I went on the Harmony Seas, I was telling everybody that the Ovation of the Seas was my favorite cruise ship. And so they want to know, now that I've been on Harmony, which is an Oasis class, is the Harmony of the Seas my new favorite ship? Well, I'm going to say that Ovation of the Seas is still my favorite ship. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, as I talked about earlier in the video, I like the solarium on Ovation better because it had the pool in the solarium, and I don't know. To me, I appreciated that a little bit more. It's not that the solarium on Harmony was bad, or it wasn't. I didn't enjoy it. It's just that I don't know. I think having that pool area was something that I would have taken advantage of. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is, like I also mentioned in the video, the Windjammer layout was much better on the Ovation. It was more wide open. It cut down on the congestion with the lines and all that confusion. So for those two reasons, I think I would still say that the Ovation is my favorite. I'm going to probably try some other Oasis class, because I think another thing too, I think that because I've seen other vlogs from other creators on other Oasis class ships, and on the boardwalk I think they had playmakers, and I think that I would have enjoyed that more on Harmony, instead of having Sabor have playmakers. But that's just my thoughts on it. But hey, let me know in the comments what you think. What's your favorite cruise ship? Have you sailed on an Oasis? Let me know. And as always, I'll invite you to hit the thumbs up button. If you like this video, if you like this kind of content, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It's 100% free, and it helps the channel grow, helps push the message out to the masses. And I always appreciate anybody that watches, subscribes, likes, shares, comments. And with that, folks, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're doing. And I will see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.